UFC Fight Night. Derrick Lewis, Tallison Teixeira. Welcome, everybody, to Winning in the Shadows. Andy and Jim, thanks for joining us. We're going to break down all of these fights on Fight Night after the week off. Jim, the week off honestly couldn't come at a better time for us. It was much needed. So, yeah, we're going to break down all the fights. Going to tell you who we like. We'll go over some. I think there's going to be a lot of discussion on some totals on this card. I think there's some real good value in this. So, if you guys could hit the like button, let's get started, Jim. Let's go to. There's my, oh, sorry guys, getting my screen ready. There we go. All right, we're going to start with the main event. Derrick Lewis and Tallison Teixeira. I'm not saying there's an experience difference, but one difference. One fighter's 28-12, one's 8-0. Is this changing of the guard, or is this the veterans got some tricks up his sleeve? What do you think?
It's the heavyweight division, so you always tread carefully. The poor heavyweight division. So
it's not great.
Besides what? Flyweight, I don't think there's a bigger disparity between the top 5 guys and the top 15 guys. It's just apples and oranges. Derrick Lewis is Derrick Lewis, man. It's just him. There's going to be no new wrinkles. So you're going to know that Derrick is going to look for a knockout. And you're also going to know that when this fight gets tough, Derrick's not here for tough fights. He's not. He's here for paychecks. He's here for main events. He's here for knockouts. And if he can't get the knockout, what's there going to be? We've seen Derrick try to use wrestling. He has gotten a takedown, keep in mind. That's something that will be very interesting in this fight. But the length of Teixeira, I mean, I just think he's going to be able to post and get up very easily if Derrick decides to go to the wrestling. When we go to Teixeira, we liked him on Contender Series and said, this guy is going to be an issue in this division, this poor heavyweight division. Just the physical gifts that he has. Now, he's 6'6", 6'7" on some sites, but he doesn't move like one. He doesn't move like a big lumbering center in the NBA. He is athletic. He moves. He's untested, so we'll have to see where this fight goes. I just think that Derrick is going to have a real hard time with the youth, the desire to fight. And Derrick Lewis in main events lately just hasn't been delivering. I mean, he had that fight against Nascimento, but, he's getting his butt kicked in the PFL now. So, I mean, who do we have here? He beats De Lima with a flying knee. If that guy's fight gets extended, he was toast. So it's really early KO or bust for Derrick. It's that simple. I haven't bet this. Love the unders for parlays. I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell this sees round 3. Maybe the beginning of round 2. I doubt it sees round 2, to be honest with you. Derrick Lewis doesn't get paid by the hour. It's that simple. It's been a great angle for his fights. So give me the under, maybe the under 1.5, but I think the under 2.5, 3 is just parlay piece waiting to happen in this fight. For the sake of the video, I'll pick the younger guy to beat Derrick, who's just got a little bit more fight in him.
Yeah, this is a 5-round fight. Derrick Lewis has, he's at least shown that he can do that. But, yeah, I mean, this is a guy that's 40 years old now, and the last 3 people that he's beat, they're not in the UFC anymore. De Lima, Nascimento, Chris Daukaus. What is strange, though, is you look at that level of competition, then you mix in, oh, by the way, he's also fought in Jailton Almeida, Spivak, Pavlovich, Taitu Avasa, Cyril Gahn. So you have this really weird disparity in the level of competition. I'm with you that we loved Teixeira by finish early against Lopez on Contender Series, and then we loved him by finish against Tafa. What's tough is we haven't seen much of this guy because he's finishing in round 1. The only time he goes to decision is a modified rules kickboxing match.
Of course it goes to decision.
Yeah, but at least he went to decision. That's like if you're trying to convince yourself that his cardio is okay, that's what you're hanging your hat on. I'm just going to hang my hat on. I get the younger, I get the more explosive at this point. I just think he's more explosive. He definitely is going to move more nimbler, more, on the feet, if that's a word. And yeah, I'm in on Tallison Teixeira. I think this guy's the real deal. I loved how he didn't waste any time getting Tafa out of there. That was just I'm coming
Yeah.
in. I'm gonna dominate. I'm gonna do I'm gonna do what's supposed to be done. I'm the much better fighter. And yeah, sometimes you just go with the youth, and you're getting less than minus 300 at this point, at the time of recording it on Teixeira. I don't know why you would even mess around with money line. You just take them by finish. Like I don't think Tallison Teixeira is winning a decision.
No.
I
No.
don't see how this goes. So do a same game parlay on Teixeira money line and under the 2.5. Lewis is, he's been around. He can take shots, but he got choked out by Spivak. Pavlovich knocked him out. Tuivasa knocked him out. So it's not like he's completely immune to getting finished. So I got Tallison Teixeira probably by KO. I don't think Teixeira's a submit Derrick Lewis type of fighter. So yeah, for me it's Tallison Teixeira. And don't be surprised if money comes in on Derrick Lewis. I think people are going to talk themselves into Derrick Lewis with the 5 round. And yeah, it's a 5 round fight, but only if it goes 5 rounds. If it doesn't go 5 round, not a 5 round fight. So
Look, Derrick Lewis is the biggest win of my career as a bettor is on Derrick Lewis. I have made so much money on Derrick Lewis throughout the years. But just because you have an attachment to this fighter, again, what do I always say? You can't look 6 years ago and average that into today. It's a different guy. It's a different guy. From an X's and O's standpoint, all Teixeira has to do is keep his back off the cage. At space, Derrick is not going to be able to catch him. He's just not. Too much space. If you see him against the cage, be wary and keep your finger on that Derrick Lewis button.
yeah, and Teixeira has no problem walking forward. Like they're going to meet in the middle of the ring, and it's going to be kind of an alpha versus alpha type of performance there. So. All right, let's move on to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Gabriel Bonfim. I'm interested in your take on this fight.
Well, look, I'm the karate guy. So let's talk
Truth?
Stephen Thompson
You're
here.
literally wearing the karate shirt. So,
So, Thompson, doing everything he had to do against Buckley. I mean, rolling. And we were on Thompson that night. It played out exactly how we thought it was going to play out. And there's
so
a moment
close.
in that round where Buckley just said, screw it. And that's what you have to do against a karate fighter. Where people get in trouble with Michael Venom Page is they sit back there and they let these guys do their thing. Now, you could say what you want about point fighting. I know we're all MMA fans here, but if you're a fan of the martial arts, you realize the pros and cons of each style. Lyoto Machida, Stephen Thompson, okay, Michael Venom Page, Norbert Novenli Jr., you want to go down a real deep dive, another karate-style striker on the come-up. These guys are masters of range. Masters of range and timing. How do you beat a karate fighter? You do exactly what Shogun Rua did to Lyoto Machida. You blitz him. You have to get inside. It's the only way. Can Bonfim do it with the striking? Maybe. I think it's fool's gold to think that he's just going to take Stephen Thompson down and submit him in the first round when nobody's done it, to my recollection. Okay? Not that easily. And if this fight's on the feet, Stephen Thompson will be live to the day he retires. It's that simple. This guy does this all day, every day. He's got over, I believe, I think he's got 700 students throughout his schools. I mean, he's just a pillar in the karate martial arts throughout the entire world. Bonfim gets his loss finally, comes back and avenges it, goes to decision. Keep in mind that Nicholas Dalby was also a karate-style striker. He has that karate-style stance. Doesn't have the same skill as Stephen Thompson, but I think people saying this is a slam dunk for Bonfim are playing with disaster here. We've seen Stephen Thompson do this again and again, where the fight starts and you think he's old and he's washed, and it's round 2 and he's barely been hit. He's won 2 rounds.
Right.
The other guy's frustrated, can't hold him down. It's just, I'm not going to doubt the guy. What I love in this fight more than a side is the over 1.5 and the over 2.5. I don't believe Bonfim gets the quick submission. I think this is going the distance like most of Stephen Thompson's fight. He's been finished, knocked out, twice? I believe in his career. That's it.
Yeah, Buckley finished him in a fight that Thompson was winning, and then he gets submitted by Shavkat.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But again, that was round 2.
Absolutely, 100% over 1.5. I see where you're going with it. I'm with you, man. I'm so upset we didn't get paid on that fight against Buckley because people that bet on Buckley in that one, it goes down a win. I feel like you got bailed out on that one. What is up with why does Stephen Thompson just choose to fight the killers of killers? Joaquin Buckley, Shavkat, Kevin Holland in a quick, kind of a short notice fight for Holland. Before that, 2021 Bilal Muhammad and 2021 Gilbert Burns. He's like, no. I only want the best of the best. And look at those decisions. Like, he's not getting finished with those. Listen, Father Time is undefeated. This is Stephen Thompson, who's 42. I did see an interview with him, and boy, Jim, he's getting a little old. He's looking a little old. That being said, I don't like the striking of Gabriel Bonfim at this level. He got the takedown against Chaos and got the submission, but he can be low volume at times, and his submissions on the ground are really good, obviously. But like you said, he's going to have to blitz in, and he's going to have to do it without taking some damage from Thompson. If you're looking for underdogs, I think you do way worse than Thompson, especially, what is it, damn near plus 400 on this one. To me, that's crazy. That's crazy to get this kind of money on Thompson, who isn't the easiest guy in the world to take down, especially with his footwork. And even though Bonfim's got 18 fights, who's he fought in UFC? Chaos Williams, he doesn't fight like Thompson. Andalucin doesn't fight like. You made a good point about Dalby. Trevin Giles, he's not fighting it. Benir Lazez, none of these guys are fighting.
None of these guys have the striking prowess of Stephen Thompson.
No way.
Zero.
No way. And then you have to go back to where he's fighting guys in LFA and, Samurai. So I think this could be a really, really close fight. I think if you put Bonfim in your parlays, you're asking for trouble. So I will take a sprinkle on Stephen Thompson. Maybe it's because I'm a little bitter that I didn't get paid by the Joaquin Buckley fight, but it was a very, very close fight. I thought we made a pretty good read. Buckley showed he's got the elite finishing power, and maybe Bonfim shows that Thompson's just a little bit too old for this one. But yeah, I think Thompson is the only way that you can play this one. So because you're not playing Bonfim on money line at this number, you can't. You can't. So. Calvin Kattar and Steve Garcia, we've done really, really well on both of these guys. What's interesting is we've done really, really well betting against Calvin Kattar recently, and we've done really, really well betting on Steve Garcia, and not just betting on Steve Garcia, betting on Steve Garcia by KO. Are we going back to the bread and butter? Is it just that simple that we just fade Calvin Kattar and we bet on Steve Garcia? What say you?
So Calvin did show me something in his last fight. Now he got washed for 2 rounds. I mean, just look.
He did.
And props to Youssef Zalal. I mean, talk about a career resurgence. I mean, this guy is actually on his way. If you had to, vote the end of the year, is he the comeback fighter of the year?
Comeback, fighter of the year. I think Josh Van already has that thing wrapped up, and it's
yeah. But comeback fighter. I mean, cut from the UFC, rattle off 5 wins, and then you just come in and look at this streak.
It's amazing. Who would have ever thought when he loses that split decision and then a draw against Amon Blackshear that here he would be wiping the mat with Calvin Kattar on the ground, beating Jack Shore and all that. You're right.
Yeah, he's in the conversation. Kattar in the 3rd against Zalal showed that he actually still gives a shit. And that's big for me. That's really big, especially off the injury. The knee injury happened in 2022. When did they say? October, so the end of 2022.
Yeah, it was October 2022 against Arnold
Allen. So we're looking at a good amount of time here now. So we're not really fading a knee injury anymore. He did hold together for the 3 rounds against Zalal. He did show fight in the 3rd. He also left Boston, thank God, because the New England Cartel is one of the worst groups in MMA. But he's now training at TriStar. So he's in Canada. I did like some things that I saw. So I'm not going to fully say that Calvin is out on his career and here for a paycheck. He's obviously here still giving a crap whether he wins or loses. So that's a big, big thing in this fight. Steve Garcia has proven that he can knock anybody out. It doesn't matter who it is. If he hits you clean, he's going to put you down. Now, what we haven't seen Steve Garcia do is win decisions at this level. Haven't seen it. I don't know if he can. Either way, I think somebody gets their ass kicked in this fight.
Okay.
I think this is one of the two ways is going to be one-way traffic. If Garcia cannot put Kattar out, Kattar is going to put volume on Garcia when Garcia is swinging and missing and going to get caught with some clean counters, and we've seen Steve Garcia put out before. If Steve Garcia does what he does, he is going to flatten Calvin Kattar. And it's going to be one of those where you say to yourself, this is it for Calvin. You're not coming back from that knockout at this age, back 100%. So I like the under 2.5. I like the fight not to go. I will pick Steve Garcia for this video because why not? We've been making a ton of money on him. And I'd rather bet on a bet-on fighter than bet on a guy we've been fading. So I will pick Steve Garcia. Love the unders. These two, the co-main and the main, I love the unders on. I think this is a violent card.
Yeah, I'm with you. People gave Zoloc, garbage for kind of running around and not necessarily engaging. And it was like you said, like you're up 2 rounds. Yeah, let's use our speed. Why would you engage? You already banked 2 rounds. So, but it's interesting. So he gets a knee injury against Arnold Allen, and who does he fight next? He fights guys that take him down. And this is going to be the polar opposite. So while we've loved fading Calvin Kattar, we've won 3 in a row. It's we get the knee injury, but make no mistake, Arnold Allen was kicking his ass at that point. Sterling holds him down, Zala holds him down. So this could be Kattar's first time since the knee injury where it's going to be striking and striking only. Steve Garcia can get hit. He leaves himself open, which is why I love your under. I think that's the best way to play it. I'm with you that we've made so much money on Steve Garcia over, it really started with this Chase Hooper. We were like, come on, he's going to knock out Chase Hooper. He did, and then just bang, bang, bang every single time you take Steve Garcia. So I feel like I'm ahead on the Steve Garcia bankroll. I'm not going to play it super big, but I'm with you that the under is the way to go because Kattar's boxing is really good. The volume is there, and if he can, do some damage to Steve Garcia and get him wobbled a little bit, Kattar can go in and get the finish. But like you said, Garcia's just got a nuke for
It's
a
special.
punch.
It's special.
It's
you
a
have to
great
call a spade
one
a
hit.
spade.
Yeah, great one hitter quitter from Steve Garcia. So under is probably the way to go. I can't say it's the most confident play for me on the card, but I'll just keep riding with Steve Garcia until he proves me wrong. If he proves me wrong in this one, then we're off the train. And we say, great, we had a nice winning streak. Thank you very much, Steve. I'll send you a fruit basket. All right, we move on to Nate the Train. Has the train gone off the tracks a little bit?
I got to do it. Nate the Train. Love Nate the Train.
Yeah, I do too. Against Morgan Charriere, who has disappointed me as much money as I've made on Steve Garcia. Against Chepe and Nathaniel Wood, Morgan has cost me. Luckily, I made some back on Gabriel Miranda. I'll go first on this one. I went back and I watched Nate the Train in his last fight, and I just saw all of the wear and tear of Nate's career caught up to him all at once in this really lackluster performance. Do Ho Choi controls him on the ground, and it goes down as a finish in round 3. But make no mistake, Nate Landwehr had no answers for Do Ho Choi. It was one-way traffic, and so then I go, okay, all right, Jamal Emmers, okay, he loses to Ige, Austen, Lingo, whatever, and then you go back to this insane David Onama fight, and we've said with Nate, he's been so wild throughout his career that he's been in some gigantic wars. He's taken some damage. He gives out a lot of damage. But, man, this fight against Duoch, I don't know if it was just a bad weight cut or if he was sick or something, But I went back and watched that, and I was like, if this is the version of Nate Landwehr that we get, then he's in trouble. And then I go to Morgan Charriere, who is the king, the absolute king of not throwing enough strikes. Nobody's done it better or worse, however you want to say it. Like, it feels like Charriere is just always trying to line up the perfect shot. And then all of a sudden, like 40 seconds has gone by, and the other guy's thrown 4 shots that didn't land, but at least they threw something and they did something. It's what happened against Nathaniel Wood. He's just not throwing enough. He finally knocks out Miranda, but then I still say this was a robbery. He won against Chepe, but again, you gotta do something to impress the judges. Look at his UFC career. He's 2-2. How did he lose? Decisions. How did he win? Because he got guys out of there. Morgan is almost too calculated to be. It's like you gotta like throw some feelers out there. You gotta do something to impress the judges. He's just a terrible point fighter. He's the opposite of Stephen Thompson. Like, he's an awful point fighter. So if I don't get a finish from Morgan, I just don't think I'm going to get the volume there. But at the same time, if Morgan wrestles Nate Landwehr and Nate Landwehr looks how he looks against Doo Ho Choi, Morgan's going to dominate him on the ground. I would much rather get out in front of a guy whose career has caught up to him. This guy's 37, and again, the recklessness and some of the wars that he's been in, I just can't trust. So if I have to pick something, it's Morgan, and I hate the odds, so there's no chance this thing makes it the distance. Or I'm sorry, there's no chance I'm betting on Morgan Charriere, but I will have my live lines open, and if Nate looks terrible in the first round, I don't care what the odds are on Morgan. I'm betting him because I need to see the aggressive Nate Landwehr. If he's not aggressive from the very beginning, forget it. He's going to suffer the same fate he did last time. I hope we get it. I hope we get a really rejuvenated Nate Landwehr, and I hope the last fight was just a blip on the radar because his fights are always fun. The last fight was not fun at all. Slightly into Morgan, but this is like one of my number one live betting fights. I'm going to see what the first half of the round looks like. What do you think?
So I'll give you my final first here. I'm with you. This is a live bet fight.
Oh, good. Okay.
Now I'm going to tell you why. Morgan Charriere is a counter fighter. That's why his volume sucks. Because he doesn't know how to move forward. He is a counter fighter. If you look at who he finished, we go to Charriere. When he gets these finishes, if you go back and watch these fights, it's guys that are marching forward. Go back and watch the Diego Silva
without
fight.
A plan. Guys that are marching forward
Bingo.
without a plan.
Bingo. It's just, I got to move forward. I got to have forward pressure. Those guys force the fight out of Morgan Charriere. What I don't like about him is he got dropped by Nathaniel Wood. That's not a great look. Nathaniel Wood's a great fighter, but he's not a knockout guy. You know, getting dropped and hurt by Nathaniel Wood's not a good look. The damage has caught up to Nate. That is not a question. That's a fact. Okay? We all know that. He's 37. And these are the wars that we've seen. This does not count all the wars he was in with Russia with no regulations on steroids. Just for what? How many years was he in Russia? He fought for there for like 7 years. He was over there just doing the thing.
Just going to war with Jordan.
Just going to war. Going to
right.
war with people, right? I think Nate is going to get knocked out. Now, the key with Nate is if you don't finish him on your first shot, you're in deep shit. So if Charriere hurts Nate and Nate survives, and you see Charriere having to use output to try to finish Nate, and Nate survives, Charriere's in trouble because he's not used to the output. So this could be a prime example, and we love this angle. The adrenaline dump when you almost get a finish and it doesn't happen. The output that you have to put out when you're trying to finish somebody and you're not used to it. We've seen these fighters time after time come so close to a finish and then have nothing after. So I think Nate's going to be live if he can survive being hurt. But yeah, I'm going to pick Charriere because of the damage for Nate. I think Nate's going to walk into some counter shots that are going to hurt him and put him down.
Move on to Vitor Petrino and Austen Lane. This is the season where you can tell they're kind of going, all right, we need to get some of these guys out of here. We got Contender Series starting in August. I don't know if they're going to try and do 2 seasons of Contender Series this year or if they're waiting for that for next year. But, you look at Austen Lane. He's got 1 win in UFC, and that was to Despade, where he just was able to take down Despade, who's the single worst takedown defense in the history of the UFC. That's his win. So the guy doesn't really have any cardio, especially on the feet. And then you have Vitor Petrino, who we correctly called was going to lose to Anthony Smith, who did something stupid against Dustin Jacoby, got caught with a nice counter, and so now you gotta have some questions here about Vitor Petrino after losing too, because it was okay. He beat Pleasure Man. All right, well, Pleasure Man's not here anymore. Prachniow, that was a big struggle until he gets the finish. Bukauskas all the way out. Tyson Pedro retired. I mean, him losing to Anthony Smith was so predictable. It's just like this guy makes really dumb mistakes. Petrino's got terrible cardio, but he does have much better cardio than Austen Lane. And there is just no value whatsoever on Vitor Petrino. The guy's minus 700. To me, that's absolutely insanity. I don't know how you play this. The fight not to go the distance is minus 1,000. I have no play. There's no value. And if anything, it's Austen Lane. Just because Petrino can make stupid mistakes and Lane does have some decent power, but this is one of the ultimate stayaways. I refuse to make a pick on this fight because the odds are so blown out of the water. Do you have any thoughtful pieces that can help anybody on this fight?
Well, we got to touch on the fact that this is at heavyweight. So why, here's what I've been asking myself all week. Why is Vitor Petrino moving to heavyweight? It didn't seem like he had too hard of a time making 205.
He's got too much muscles. He's the guy that carries around too much muscle, and because of that, he has to manage his cardio, and he ends up throwing 40 punches in an entire fight. And these guys, I can't believe that that nobody jumps in and tells these guys, hey, you're carrying too much muscle. Fat doesn't weigh as much as muscle. When you come out and you're all bulked up and it looks great, and then you're tired, and then you're having to manage cardio. That's my only guess.
So why are we moving up? We're moving up because maybe the cut in the cardio was the reason.
And he
so
can fight fatter
is he going to come in?
Yeah, he can fight fatter guys.
He's going to fight fatter guys. He's going to fight a lot of fat guys in this UFC heavyweight division, all right? Then we don't have a shortage of fat guys. Fat, unathletic heavyweights in the UFC.
One of them's fighting in the main event.
Oh, jeez. So I think this is a calculated move. It has to be. If it's not, if it's like, yeah, sure, I'll fight at heavyweight this one time, he needs to fire his manager, fire his coach, and get out of Brazil and get to somewhere where they can actually manage an athlete, all right, and get him set up. Austen Lane, shout out to friend of the show, Matt. One of Matt's favorite angles is bet on ex-NFL players in MMA. Austen Lane fits that bill, doesn't he?
Is it bet on or bet against?
Bet against.
Bet against.
Sorry,
okay, we're betting against the former NFL players.
Bet against the former NFL players in 2025. Austen Lane, what skill set does he have? His win against Spain was that he took a guy down who didn't have the cardio to get up or the knowledge to get up at all. He's not going to wrestle Petrino.
No.
Petrino at least knows how to wrestle. I actually believe that Petrino is the guy who has the advantage in the wrestling in this spot. And that's where I'm going to go with my pick here. I'm going to go with Petrino. I think this fight hits the mat. Austen Lane falls over with a strong gust of wind. And we've seen Petrino get on top, be able to lock up submissions, even though they're basic. And I can't convince myself that Austen Lane has done anything in his old age and minimal MMA career to know how to defend submissions properly. So if Petrino comes in with a good enough gas tank, I could see Austen Lane falling over, Petrino ending up on top, and I think that finish is going to come from submission or ground and pound. This fight is not going the distance. It's an Austen Lane fight, and when Austen Lane can't hold you down for 3 rounds, he's going to lose by finish. It's just that simple. So I like Petrino in this spot. I am way less worried about parlaying him or using him by finish in a play. I actually really like him. It's more so I hate Austen Lane. I love betting against Austen Lane. One of my favorite pastimes.
It's been good. It's been good. So, all right, now we move on
All right, go,
to
man.
the people's main event. Junior Tafa and Tuco Tokkos. Surely this is a loser leaves town. Surely this is a loser leaves town match. I mean, maybe you keep them in because they're good for a laugh. You have Junior Tafa, who, knocks out Parker Porter. Okay, fine. Mm-hmm. Loses to Muhammad Usman, who just took him down and laid on top of him. This Rogerio de Lima, he took it on like 12 hours' notice. He subbed for his brother.
It was such an awesome thing. It was awesome.
It was pretty cool, but he was non-competitive against Rogerio de Lima. Valter Walker submits him. And then this set UFC back 10 years, the Sean Sheriff and Junior Tafa. It goes down as a win. Go watch that second round and tell me if you feel good about betting money on Junior Tafa. Just start with the second round. Pretend you didn't watch the first round. Go watch the second round and tell me if you want to put your hard-earned money on Junior Tafa. Then go watch Tuco Tokkos against Navo Sterling and tell me if you want to bet your hard-earned money on that. But the point is, this is just a stay away. These are two terrible fighters. That being said, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I really like Tuco Tokkos at plus money here. Junior Tafa could barely hold his hands up in the second round. That's a fact. He against Sean Sheriff. Tuco Tokkos at least went the distance against Navajo Sterling. Now, he looked terrible doing it. But if Junior Tafa doesn't get the finish in the first round, I not only think Tokkos wins, I think he finishes him. Because Tafa has absolutely no cardio whatsoever. I don't know how Tokkos finishes him because I haven't seen one bit of offense from him in either of his UFC fights. I don't know what he does good at the UFC level. I just know that Junior Tafa is truly terrible. Plus money to fade a Tafa in this economy, in 2025, I get plus money on anybody to fade a Tafa in July 2025. Yeah, you might get me to bet on this, but I'm not going to bet on it because I can't bet money on either of these two guys. But Tokkos at plus money is the pick, just because I get a chance to fade a Tafa at plus money. What do you think?
Why are we moving down from heavyweight to light heavyweight? Here's my theory. You said it in his last fight. He was exhausted in this.
Oh, so bad.
There are certain guys, i.e. Kevin Holland, that if they don't have to cut the weight, they slack off, man. It's that simple. They slack off. I know there's been a hot debate about weight cuts. Should we allow these weights? Should we have more weight cutting, more weight divisions so people don't have to drop 25, 30 pounds? And there's pros and cons to all of it. I'm not here to make that argument. But the fact is that when you have to make weight that's more difficult, it's going to cost you to be more disciplined. Period. It's that simple. You have to get the cardio in. You have to eat less. You have to train. It's not a matter of just not eating Twinkies. Okay? You gotta move. He's moving to get to this weight. He was never the biggest heavyweight, but we should see the best shape Tafa has ever been. Tuco Tokkos does nothing good. Nothing. In fact, it's not that he does nothing good. When he fights, he does nothing.
Truth.
At all. So I never thought Tuco Tokkos should be here. We said that from day one that this guy wasn't a UFC level fighter. So it's no big surprise. I think this is going to get you a dedicated Tafa. Now, whether that equates to improvement, I don't know. I'm going to go against you on this one. I'm going to say Tafa beats Tuco Tokkos.
That's like the worst fight ever to go head-to-head on.
That's what makes it great. That's why we got to do it.
All right.
So the best part is this is the start of the main card, and we'll have a couple cocktails in us before this fight, and there will be laughs. There will be laughs.
We will be laughing
This would be a good time. I agree with you. There's no way this fight goes distance.
No chance.
These guys have holes everywhere. in every facet of MMA. So I love the unders. I'll go Tafa. You take Tokkos, and we'll do a shot at the end.
I love it. I love it. I don't even see lines out at the time of recording of this for fight not to go the distance, but as soon as they put them out, my guess is they're going to be astronomical. So, all right, guys, if we could be serious here just for a second. Well, first off, hit the like button, leave us a comment, tell us who you're betting on this card. We love seeing it. We will be live for Takedown Live on Saturday, so live betting opportunities galore. Method of Victory will be out on Friday night on the Winning in the Shadows YouTube channel. Normally we hey, here's our plays. Here's what we have for sale. So it's for all sports for us in the Winning in the Shadows teams. It's been a terrible June. It's been the worst. June was the worst month since we started working together, and we're fine to talk about it because we've had a lot of winning months. But it's more important to talk about the losing months. So we're not going to advertise anything if we're not running hot in it. We're not going to try and sell you some stuff that we're not 100% sure. And so what we did, took a long break from all plays and all sports. We said we're lowering the volume big time. So this week, from Monday to all the way now through this is Wednesday night, we had one play. We had one play, and it won. We're getting back to the very basics. So we do have a play that is a golf and UFC parlay that's available for clients by the time you're watching it. The play will have already started, but this week we may only have 3 or 4 plays. And getting back to the lower volume, we need to lower the risk and lower how much of the bankroll is put up while we're going through a cold stretch. That being said, we paper traded a ton. Things are looking much, much better. If you want to join our Discord, it's the Winning in the Shadows Discord. We've posted a lot of the plays, and things look like they're getting back to that 57, 58%. And to show you how small the margins are, our worst month we've ever had, we hit 49% of our plays. That's the difference between hitting 49% and hitting 57%. You hit 57% of your plays, have an amazing month. You hit 49% of your plays, you're buried. So we hope you guys still put your faith in us, and we've shown long term. Somebody asked, how have you done over the last 2 years? Well, we're up 118 units. So we're doing something right. But we just want to be open and honest because it's your money. All the plays that we put out for clients at Wager Talk, these are plays that we bet with our own money. So when it hurts your guys' bankroll, it hurts us as well. And we need to reel it in. We need to get back to the winning ways, and that's how we're going to do it. But we're certainly not going to tell you, hey, go get this when we're not running that hot in it. We believe in our system. We believe in the way that we handicap plays. So, but this week, we're not going to have anything up for sale. You want to tune in to Takedown Live, we'll tell you everything that we're playing. So, Jim, if you want to add anything.
Look, lowering the volume is key. This is it's a hard lesson. It's not a fun lesson. I wish we didn't have to learn the lesson, but when you go through this, less is more. And just remember that. If there's one piece of advice, and coming from, again, starting out and just getting killed when I started, just lower it, man. Play your favorite. That's it. Set the play and go live your life. The time off over the weekend felt great. Really did. Like we paper traded stuff back and forth. We knew what each other liked. It worked out pretty good. But we enjoyed life with our families. We went outside. It was beautiful days. You need that reset in life. Sometimes we get too, just stuck in front of this computer screen and looking at odds. And you know what? Honestly, if you don't love it, you shouldn't play it. There you go. Put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah, we put some plays in that we liked, we didn't love, and we need to get back to that. So it's all part of the business. It's all part of the learning process. And we're always working to get better, and, we do this as a team. So thank you guys for watching. Let's get going to the rest of the fights. All right, we have Chris Curtis and Max Griffin. You get to go to first on this one. I think the big story is Chris Curtis moving down to 170. Did you see the interview? He was like, I feel home at 170. Chris Curtis
Where you been, Chris? Where you been? Chris is what, 36? 37?
Chris Curtis has been doing this for a long time, man. This man has 43 professional fights. He's 37 years old.
There you go.
He's been around the block. Yeah.
We've been waiting for, Chris. It's like that friend that you call, and they're like, I was just going to call you. Like, what have you been waiting for? Little terrified about this move down in weight, and I'm sure Chris feels pretty good because he wasn't, huge up a weight class. He's running it to Max Griffin, who Are these guys just clones of each other? Like, they're just journeymen?
I mean, they're
When
kind of.
when you think of UFC journeymen, isn't this one of the top 5 names that pop in your head? Are these two guys?
Well, see, it took Chris Curtis a long time to get to UFC. Max Griffin's been doing this since 2016, whereas Chris Curtis, like, he didn't get to UFC until that epic Phil Hawes fight where he was getting his ass kicked, and then he happened to be fighting Phil Hawes, did his thing. But yeah, I mean, like, look at this guy who he was all over the place. He fought in PFL, lost twice to Magomed, and took this
Fought
fight
the
against
same night. 2 fights in one night. Old school.
Yeah, was that the best career decision? Probably not, because they cut him, which is bullshit, by the way. Like, thanks for taking a fight after a fight. I mean, like, come on, give me a break. So, yeah, but the guy's been there, done that. Like, this guy won a Contender Series fight in 2018, went to PFL, fought 2 guys in one night. We joke about that on the live show when there's, like, a quick finish. Like, this guy could fight on the main card. If it's prelim finish. But now Chris Curtis's career has been really, really interesting. This is a guy that beat Joaquin Buckley, only guy to knock out Buckley, I believe. So, and then loses in the last second. On the last second to Kopylov. So, I don't know if I don't know if I agree that they're mirror images of each other. I also think Chris Curtis has just got a lot more upside than Max Griffin, but I'll let you
That I
continue.
will agree with you. Skill set wise, Chris definitely has more. This weight cut is the big elephant in the room. I'll keep this real simple. I need you to keep going here. I love this fight overs. like this fight screams overs for me. I know Max Griffin's been finished. I know Chris. This is going to be. It takes Chris Curtis a round to even get going. He always loses the first round. Always. So, like, Max is going to have his way, and then Chris will pour on, and then we're going to see both these guys standing, waiting for Bruce Buffer's decision. And it's going to be a close fight, split decision, and it's probably going to go to Chris. So, I don't hate Curtis by decision, but overs galore in this fight. I do not see a finish in this contest.
Yeah, Griffin's tough. I mean, he got submitted by Chiesa, but then, look before that. Split Wells, decision against Morales, split decision against Tim Means, split against Magny, decision against Carlos Condit. Yeah, Max Griffin just doesn't have the finishing upside. And to be honest, Chris Curtis, I don't think he's got that in him anymore. He has an incredible guard. He will work the body really, really good. But Griffin is tough. I'm with you. The over is the only way to play it, and I do love that Chris Curtis by decision. I think that's a fantastic way. I don't see Griffin getting knocked out. So yeah, Chris Curtis by decision when those props come out, that'll be a really good look to have. So Jake Matthews and Chitty Njokuani. Good luck picking the winner on this one, Jim. You get to go first.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
What Chitty are we going to get? Are we going to get decision Chitty?
Well, I know
Are
that
we going to
Chitty's
get violent Chitty?
Well, I know he's going to be sweating profusely 2 minutes into the fight. That Chitty we're always getting.
This is true. Chitty is one of the shiniest there is about 1.5 minutes into a fight. Just dripping wet. I think that's going to help him in this fight because the only place that I see an advantage for Jake is in the grappling.
Oh, this is a great point by you.
But, like, Jake's not a marauding wrestler. Is there going to be a blast up? No. It's going to be like the up against the cage, single leg, high crotch takedowns, and Chitty's just going to be soaking wet and slide right out of him. And if they're in the clinch, we've seen Chitty do some nasty work in the clinch. To me, it's at distance where I worry about him more than the striking. When you get into the clinch, he is as traditional a Muay Thai striker as you're going to find in the UFC. And look, guys who know how to strike Muay Thai, they get into the clinch and you can see a difference. The elbows, the knees, the placement of everything, the control, the single collar ties, all that stuff. Chitty does great. I have a question for you on this fight. gas tank concerns on either side? It seems like Chitty has fixed his gas tank and his pace.
Who knows? Who knows with Chitty? Um, I, this guy is completely confounding. Like, all right, knees and elbows to Zaleski. The Jared Gooden was and the Rise McKee was. I'm surprised he didn't get cut after that one. Like, he lost 3 in a row and then put on one of the all-time most boring fights you've ever seen. I'm actually stunned that they gave him.
I lost a ton of money on that fight going the distance. I remember that one.
Yeah, it was awful. It was push up against the fence and all that. I can't figure out Chitty. I don't know what we're getting. This is a complete stay away from me. I have no opinion whatsoever. I only need to profit off of a couple plays. This fight will. No, this is the least bettable fight on the card for me. If I had to guess, yeah, I would say an over because you're right. Matthews is not going to get it. He's not going to be able to get a hold of Chitty once he gets that slimy. It's really something. I don't know if he does it on purpose, but this goes back to the rumors where was it Anderson Silva would take baby oil baths and
get his skin GSP with the other guys would put lotion on that would release when you start to sweat.
Yeah.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No opinion whatsoever. I won't have a penny on this fight. Not a penny.
Well, here's how I will bet it. I will bet this fight exactly how I bet Chitty and Mikhail Nzechukwu. I will wait to see if at some point I can say Chitty's done. That's how.
Okay. Cardio wise,
no bets pre. We're gonna do nothing but watch Chitty. And if he's got to do a whole lot of output in round 1 and he doesn't get Jake out of there, on the live stream we will hear
fair.
Chitty's done.
It's fair.
That's where we're going.
Probably the only way. So, all right, we move on to Lauren Murphy against Eduarda Moura. I'll make this one really quick. Murphy, I didn't know she was still fighting. It's been 2.5 years. Yeah, she's in her 40s, comes back to get her farewell, and they're putting her up against Eduarda Moura, who, if Eduarda Moura just gets her hands on her and gets her on the ground, the 41-year-old Lauren Murphy is just not going to really have a chance. Lauren Murphy, listen, she's had some really, really fun fights. Made it to round 4 against Valentina. Beat Miesha Tate in one of the funniest live bets I've ever been a part of. When Miesha Tate threw her very first punch and Nathan goes, "What the F bet, Murphy?"
Yep. I remember that night. What a night.
Yeah. Yep. What the F bet, Murphy? She got her ass kicked against Andrade. You're not going to convince me that a 2.5-year layoff for a 41-year-old is going to get you ready for Eduarda Moura. The lack of volume from Moura is a little bit concerning, but her control is really, really good, and she's allowed to get better. That's the other thing is, like, she's 31, but, she's only had 12 professional fights, and her first professional fight was 2022. This is a woman that's started late. She's going to get better. I love her size. I love her athleticism. Murphy used to have pretty good speed. Is that speed going to be better than Moura's at 40s? Probably not. I think all it's going to take is one clinch up against the fence with Moura, and I think Murphy's going to struggle to get the takedown. You're a little bit more bullish on the finish in this one, I think, than I am, but it's just Moura in a wash for me. I think Moura makes this pretty easy. What do you think?
40-year-old female fighters. It's different than the men. Okay, it just is. When you see a 40-year-old male fighter, you don't usually see the real lack of athleticism and reaction time. A lot of fighters talk that's the first thing that goes. It's not so much your chin, it's not your power, it's not your speed. It's the ability to see something coming, acknowledge it's coming, and have your body listen to your brain. It's that connection. Murphy was really never good at that to begin with. So that is why I feel like she is going to look extremely slow and extremely off balance. And in her last fight against Andrade, she took an absolute ass kicking. Like, yes, she really did go down, But she took an ass kicking, man. And remember, we watched that fight and we said, what is the point of sending Lauren Murphy out for the third round?
Yes,
What
we
did
did
we
say
say?
that.
That took years. Not that she had a whole lot of years left in her career, but that was career-changing damage in that fight. There was no reason to send Lauren Murphy out to get battered for 5 more minutes when she got 10-8'd in the rounds beforehand. All right, just one-way traffic. So now we have a 2-year layoff. She's coming back against Moura. Like you said, Moura's going to be able to make these improvements. She is going to be better on the ground. If she ends up in a dominant position on Murphy, I just don't see Lauren being able to survive. And I do believe that the ref is going to be very quick to call this a fight for Lauren Murphy.
Do we know which ref we're getting?
That's the big question, right?
It really is. It really is.
That's the big question.
Whatever ref you get can determine a quick stoppage or a complete ass kicking.
There has to be a conversation at some point backstage, whether it be with the ref or the fighters or Dana or whoever, Sean Shelby, that we don't need anybody carried out of the cage on a backboard.
Especially
okay?
Lauren Murphy, who
A
is
42-year-old female fighter we definitely don't need. We spoke about this with the Barber fight, that if that fight happened and Macy has to be rushed to the hospital, that is just detrimental to the sport across the board. So I'm going to go Eduarda Moura, and I will put my foot down. I believe she will finish Lauren Murphy. Retirement fights, you just don't have that same amount of oomph to get through those rough situations, and Lauren's taken a lot of damage in her life. Give me Moura by finish.
All right, we move on to Kennedy, and this last name has to have the most different pronunciations in all of UFC. I have not heard the same pronunciation of this poor guy's last name, and I'm not going to disrespect him. I'm just going to call him Kennedy because I've heard everything under the sun, and I don't want to hear any comments about that's not how his name is pronounced. It was like, well, look up 4 YouTube videos, and you're going to get 4 different pronunciations. So Kennedy fights Valter Walker. What do you see happening between Kennedy and Valter?
I see a lot of money being lost because I think there's going to be a lot of money on either side on this. It's just.
Oh, you think this is a polarizing?
I think this is a pretty polarizing fight. I've seen a lot of people wanting to take the dog shot on Walker because of Kennedy being the perennial banana peel fighter, man. He's cost people a lot of money. Us, right here.
This one is unforgivable, man.
Oh, that fight was brutal, man.
And then he goes on and beats 2 absolute bums, and he couldn't get rid of, and he couldn't beat, let alone finish a guy who was all set to retire.
Yep.
Amazing.
Surprised that he won. Literally surprised that he won at the end. Well, I guess I got to fight again because I won. Okay. The move to heavyweight has been really good for Kennedy. Now he's fought 2 of the bottom of the barrel fights. By the way, Lucas Brzeski has a fight coming up pretty soon. Save your money, everybody.
Save up, folks. Save up.
Save your money.
We've got Dakota Ditcheva on deck for next week, and we've got Lucas Brzeski fighting another fight. Take that
We're
for
ready
what
to
you will.
rock. We're coming back strong. So Kennedy, have we seen what his finished product really is at heavyweight? I would say no, because nobody's really pushed him yet. Valter Walker has made some real improvements since getting to the UFC. He came in a very doughy, pudgy, fraud-esque fighter. I have been really impressed with his physical commitment. Really have. That shows me that he actually cares. That shows me that he gives a shit. And the bottom line is that wrestling can take you very, very far in this sport. And that's one thing that this guy has is wrestling. Now, is he going to get his 3rd heel hook in a row? I'm going to say no on that one. But I think he can cause Kennedy some problems that we're not really thinking. He's going to be big. We know he's bigger than Kennedy. Has Kennedy really even seen that in the UFC yet in heavyweight? No. He fought 5'8" Chris Barnett and Lucas Brzeski, who's not a full-fledged heavyweight. He's just a fat guy. So now he's going to fight a true-bodied heavyweight here. I think this is Kennedy's first test. This will be a live bet. Again, I'm not going to, plant my flag on either side. If Valter Walker gets the wrestling going and his cardio can hold up, I think people Parlay and Kennedy are going to be really scared going into round 3. If it's just 2-0 Walker in tight fights, I can see Walker squeaking this out. Give me Walker for the upset.
Well, I can tell you I don't know if we're going to have a third straight heel hook, but I can tell you Valter Walker's going for it.
Oh, for sure.
He's absolutely going for it. And why wouldn't you? That's a record. You want to talk about an unbreakable sports record? 3 straight wins by heel hooks. 1 heel hook's amazing. 2 is outlandish. 3, never. You will be mentioned forever if you can have 3 straight heel hooks in the UFC, especially this year. So I don't really have a strong opinion. I agree it's kind of a live bet. Kennedy has confused me. I haven't figured him out. Valter's confused me as well, but I'm going to lean Valter as well. I've liked his improvements. Granted, it's been against bums, but yeah, if you're going to give me dog money on a guy who is pretty good on the ground, and he, like you said, he when he showed up, man, did he look? I think doughy is the perfect word, and he's worked on his physique. It's been impressive, and I've really loved the evolution, and I just don't know how much stock I can put into Kennedy, like beating Barnett and Bresky. Now, Bresky beat Valter, but Valter screwed around in that fight. That was a complete mistake by him, and he hasn't messed around since then. So, Valter is the only way I think you can play this one. But again, live betting opportunity, absolutely for sure. So,
there was only one fighter I could think of that could possibly do the heel hook, and I just looked it up. Ryan Hall has
Hall.
He has 3 heel hooks in a row. Not in the UFC though. Not in the UFC.
It's gotta be UFC.
So if he pulls this off, he'll get the record for 3 in a row in the UFC. It'll be all his.
you can do that in Shudo, Brazil against some bums and stuff. But yeah, UFC, no way. So, all right, second to last fight. Then we're gonna do Parlay Buster and Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda. Mike Davis, Rich Ramirez. Mike Davis, a massive, massive favorite. And I'm going to you, Jim, because you learned something very, very interesting and terrifying if you've already bet on Mike Davis. What'd you learn?
Well, look, shout out to the rest of the creators out there because it's always good to watch and learn. And a lot of times people pick up stuff that you didn't have time to look up. You get some information. I never knew Mike Davis had Lyme's disease.
And who? Let's give credit. Who was it?
Wheezy, Uncle Wheezy. He was talking about. He's got somebody who did an interview with him, one of his guys, and Mike Davis has Lyme's disease. It's huge.
Well, I will tell you in golf betting, Jimmy Walker, this guy was winning multiple tournaments. He got Lyme disease. Guy was never the same. Could not compete on the PGA level from Lyme disease. Took a bunch of time off. Never, ever had it in him. And one of my buddies was at a golf outing, and Jimmy Walker was one of the special guests. And my buddy's unadulterated. He'll just ask anybody anything. Jimmy, I'm having Lyme disease. You haven't been the same since. And he's like, nope, haven't. Couldn't get the strength back. I'm 90% of what I was as a professional golfer, and being 90% means I don't make cuts. That's the razor thin when you're at this level.
Yeah.
That's the difference between being pro and not even making the cut. 100%, 90%. Competitive for wins, not competitive. So, yeah, keep talking about Lyme disease. It's a real thing.
Look, I've seen it firsthand. I've seen Jim go through it firsthand, and it's a nightmare. And thank God he got it squared away. But, we've been sitting here for, 3-4 years now saying, God, we love Mike Davis. I just wish he would fight more. God, man, Mike Davis is fighting again. Man, I wish he would fight more. He's got such... Well, guess why Mike Davis isn't fighting a lot? Because he's got Lyme's disease. Duh. You can't when you're going through it. It affects your joints so bad. And I thought, again, shout out Uncle Wheezy, man. They were saying how the first clinch with Ziam, he had knees popping and joints cracking. Like, it just wreaks havoc on you. Absolute havoc. So, on top of that, you hear with Mike Davis how he's good at fighting, but he doesn't enjoy it. He's not a guy that loves finishing people. It's just what he does. It's his job. Mitch Ramirez is not a fantastic fighter. But Mitch Ramirez is a fighter. Like, this is who Mitch Ramirez is. Mitch isn't saying, well, my UFC career's over. I'm going to go sell insurance now. He is going to fight on the regional scene after he leaves the UFC. He's also been thrown to the absolute wolves
Seriously,
in the
this is
UFC.
gives him
You brought this
Carlos
up. Go right
Prates
ahead.
on.
Yeah.
They give him Carlos Prates on Contender Series, and then Thiago Moises in his UFC debut. Are you serious? Like, we've seen this. There's been a couple fighters where it was just like, oh, who just got cut? Somebody lost to like Manel Kopp and they beat Alton Moreno, but like lost to like Josh Van and like somebody else, and they just cut him. It was like you gave him a who's who
Yeah.
of title contenders to start his UFC career. So yeah, when you say they didn't give him any favors, yeah, you're right. Here's Carlos Prates on Contender Series. Here's Thiago Moises. Thanks very much. Oh, by the way, you better win or we're cutting you. Like, ridiculous.
Yeah, here's Mike Davis, another well-rounded veteren fighter for you to go up
Guy
against.
that
Like, can we
knows
give him
his
another
way around.
contender guy? Like, that's what I don't get about the UFC. And look, I know we want the best fighters, but lately, I want good fights. Give me an entertaining fight. I will watch a Mitch Ramirez fight because I know Mitch is going to bring it. And he's either going to win or he's going to get flattened. All right? It's one of the two. Bottom line is, I can't bet on Mike Davis anymore, man. Until I know that he's past this thing, just can't do it. I think it's trouble. No reason to have a bet on this fight. You could probably do something live with it. I wouldn't even take the dog shot on Mitch ahead of time because the skill difference is huge, huge here. So I'll wait and see live, but I'll shout out again. That is such good information to get you off of making a mistake and parlaying a minus 900 guy when his knee gives out in the second. Can't do it. Can't do it. We got to be smart here.
All right, I found it. It's Felipe Dos Santos who lost to Lanier Kavanaugh, Andre
Yes.
Lima, and Manel Kopp.
You're right.
And so we're going to cut him.
You got the top 10, top eight, what? They're in the top 6 of that division?
Three of them are just... Oh, man. Yeah. And by the way, was it Kavanaugh decision? Lima decision.
Survived.
Not like,
Yes.
Yeah, not like he's out there getting Connor Matthews out there. So, all right, let's move on to the final fight of the night. Our girl, Kline, who I know that she is like minus 1,200, whatever, but I'm just telling you guys, we made the vow that we were going to make a lot of money off of Kline in her UFC career. She got thrown to the wolves against Jasmine Jasudavicius, and we said she's going to lose, but she's going to make this fight really interesting, and she did. And boy, did we clean house on her against Dudakova. That was easy money here. And now she gets Melissa Martinez, who just barely beat Alice Ardalian. Loses to Elise Reed, which is a horrific look. Bad look. I think Kline makes this pretty easy. This is Kline by finish. That's all the analysis I need. What do you think?
I remember watching Melissa fight our girl, Dirty Dez.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
Dirty
Remember that
Dez.
one?
Yes.
So we had a bet on Dirty Dez in that fight. And, she wins a split where Dez just looks horrible. Horrible.
Yes.
Fight. No power. The girls that she is finishing should not be MMA fighters. Let's click on Caroline Gallardo. Let's see what she's done since 2019, shall we? 9-4, respectable record. What are the promotions?
Yeah, this is Combat Global, and yeah.
Who's she fighting? Okay?
Nobody.
Kline's not getting knocked out by her. Kline's not getting out wrestled by her. Kline's not getting submitted by her. Kline's got better cardio. Kline's at her natural weight class. And how good does that Jasudavicius loss age now?
She had winning moments there, like where she was competitive.
Jazz had some lumps at the end of that fight. She did some damage. That was not in a weight class she should have been fighting at. I think this girl is an absolute star in the making.
Agreed.
I think UFC knows it.
Agreed.
UFC knows when they have a star. and they found an 8-1 Melissa Martinez that they can throw to Fatima Kline, and she is going to run through this girl like a hot knife through butter. Finish could come late. I would say probably round 2 or round 3. I think Martinez will do enough to survive round 1, but once Fatima gets on top, what I love about her game is she is position over submission, and she strikes her way from grappling position to position. So she does damage the entire time, which you don't see a lot in women's MMA. The art of the ground and pound, i.e. Jazz the Vicious, right? She'll drop elbows on you as she's going through from position to position. Kline does the same exact thing. And once she gets to mount, if that sub is not there, she is totally fine going for a ground and pound finish. So at some point, this fight's going to hit the mat, and that's where you're going to see the big disparity between her and Kline. I think Kline rules here. The under 2.5 is taking a ton of money. They opened that up at, 140?
Yeah, it's
I
plus
believe it
140.
was.
It's almost even.
It's almost even already. I would like Fight not to go and buy that extra half round because we have seen a lot of Kline's finishes in the third. So hopefully that line hits pretty soon on the domestics. I think it's Kline by finish.
She just got that aura.
She's good, man.
I really hope
good.
I really hope she lives up to the hype. But when we did that research on her when she was fighting Jasmine, you and I both were like, she's got something, man. She's just got that smile. And then the game to back it up, and we're big Kline believers. And listen, we're not breaking news that we like minus 1,200 on it, but we just made the vow.
Yep.
We're gonna make money on that. We did the same thing with Dakota Ditcheva a while ago. We were like, we're gonna make money on her. I don't care how, but we're gonna make money on her. So I know it's low hanging fruit, but the low hanging fruit will pay the bills. So. We don't hit 100% on these, but you hit a high percentage on some of these reads, and you're going to be good to go. So, all right, let's do the Parlay Buster and the Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda real quick. If you guys could just hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing to the channel really, really helps us out. You get notified when these videos come out. We'd love to have you part of the family, and leave us a comment in the comment section. Tell us who you like this week. We always love seeing your guys' reads and seeing your guys' bets. If you disagree with us, fine. Make it a little respectful and put it in the comment section. Let's do Parlay Buster first here, Jim. We got some big favorites. I'll let you go first. I'll let you take the Parlay Buster.
Okay. I'm going to go right. I'm going to take Gabriel Bonfim.
Great pick.
I just think that this screams decision. This fight screams decision to me. And God, remember what we said about MVP? He's going to win the oohs and ahs. And Thompson is going to win the oohs and ahs with the crowd going, oh, wow. And in a close decision, that can win you a fight. It really can. How many times have we seen guys throw these spinning hook kicks? They don't land. You're like, how the hell did they win that round? Oh, because the other guy landed nothing. But he got an ooh and an ah. Give me Thompson to pull the upset. I'm not parlaying Bonfim.
Okay. All right. I am going to go with. I agree that Bonfim is the obvious one. I'll swing big. I think you're crazy if you lay minus 700 on Vitor Petrino. Okay. Austen Lane's got a puncher's chance in the first round. That's about it. And if Petrino gets rocked in the first round, I just think you're going to feel kind of silly. So I'm not betting on Austen Lane, but a minus 700 on Petrino is coming off of 2 losses where he got submitted by a guy who was old and near retirement and then got smoked when he wasn't protecting himself. I think Austen Lane also knows this is it for him. He needs a win. So he's just going to throw everything he's got out of it. There's no caution. There's no take your time. He doesn't have the cardio for it. So if Petrino survives the first round, he waltzes with it. But I think the first round is pretty dangerous for him. So, all right, woulda, coulda, shoulda. This is the fight or the bet that we're like, man, should have made way more money on that one. How did we miss that one? And there's a lot of them on this card. This was one of the harder woulda, coulda, shouldas because I think there's going to be a lot of potential outcomes. We're like, how do we not lay the farm on that one? What say you? There's a ton of them.
All right, I'll go first. The retiring 42-year-old female fighter who has not fought in 2.5 years. Moura by finish
Okay.
at plus money. Or fight not to go at plus money. When I hear retirement, I hear 42-year-old, and I hear female MMA.
Jim,
See
it's
Lauren Murphy
plus
getting choked out.
240.
It's a
240
wild number.
under
It's
2.5.
It's a wild number. I looked at it right before the show. I put a little sprinkle on the under 2.5. Okay, I just can't. It can't process in my brain. I can't. We've seen. Look at Misha Tate's last fight. Women in their 40s, like we were just talking about. Look, more power to them. But this has been a planned retirement for a long time, and that's key. The planned public retirement. You know there's going to be family in the crowd. You know she's going to be taking her flowers in as she goes, right? And then when that cage door shuts, there's not a lot of fight left in you. Robbie Lawler, Chris Lytle. Only 2 fighters. Announce the retirement and get wins.
All right. So potential nominees were the Kline and Martinez fight under 2.5 plus 114. I don't have the line on not to go the distance, but that was one that could have made the list. I think we're going to sit here and being like, how did we not fade Derrick Lewis? How did we not fade the guy who's only won 3 fights in the last few years against people that are not in the UFC anymore? And this Tallison Teixeira who can walk Derrick Lewis down, who can land some big, big strikes, and Derrick Lewis, who is not a great wrestler and who has shown, he'll get out of there if he doesn't get the early finish. So I think Tallison Teixeira by KO when that line is available, which is going to be pretty close to even money.
I'm looking at it right now. It's minus 185 on DK.
All right, well, I'm not going to take minus 185. That's a weasel way out. That's too juicy.
I love the pick though. Love the pick.
Okay. All right, so that's my 1B.
Okay.
Then I will go to Steve Garcia by KO. Calvin Kattar, whose knee has not looked the same. Steve Garcia is nuking guys who will not hesitate to get in the pocket against Calvin Kattar. And you could also say the under on this fight to not go. But I think my favorite one's Tallison Teixeira by KO. But you want something a little bit better odds, I'll go Steve Garcia by KO. So
Tune into Friday's show. Tune into Friday's show when we go live and do our method of victory. We'll go over all these.
Yeah. So every Friday on the Winning in the Shadows YouTube channel, we do method of victory where we go through each fight, and we have to pick the winner, and we have to pick by KO, by sub, or by decision. So that's going to be on the Winning in the Shadows channel. So, all right, guys, thanks so much for joining us. Hit the like button. Thanks for leaving a comment. Appreciate you guys. Good luck on your bets. And we'll see everyone Saturday for Takedown Live, where we watch the fights live. And hopefully we get a few live bet opportunities. So good luck in your plays. Take care.
See you Saturday.